It's now my pleasure and honor to welcome an exceptional leader in the financial world as well as philanthropist and almost a great public servant, because Ray ran for mayor and we wanted to get him over the line, but we couldn't quite do that, Ray. But anyway, Ray, it's your deep commitment to helping others, your deep commitment, what you've done in helping people at SEO and giving back, it's exceptional, and we thank you for that. Ray has been a friend of my wonderful wife, Mary Jose, and mine for a long time, and he's had, I have to say without a doubt, one of the most incredible careers on Wall Street, spanning many, many years. And as you've heard in the videos and maybe elsewhere, Ray recently joined Lazard as president, where he's responsible for strengthening their senior client relationships and Lazard's reach around the world. Now, Ray has spent many years with Citigroup, most recently as vice chairman and as chairman of banking and capital markets and their advisory business. Now, while at Citi, though, Ray held a 13-year term as Citi's global head of corporate and investment banking, the longest tenure, I believe it's right, in this position in the history of Wall Street. Now, Ray left Citi in 2020 to go on and pursue that great thing that I mentioned in trying to have a career and help people through public service. And as I said, he ran for mayor at the time. You know, Ray is sort of a slouch in education. He's got 3 Harvard degrees. He's got an undergrad degree, he's got a degree in the law school, and he's got a business school degree. And you got to understand, and he may talk about it tonight, how he took the bus from Ohio to go to Hotchkiss School and then on to Harvard, and this great career that he's had. He spent his early years at multiple firms, including First Boston, Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, and Wasserstein Perella. And he also serves and has served on many boards, and I'm happy to say that he's currently on our board at KKR and has been an esteemed member of our board. And as outside of his professional life, Ray has had a tremendous impact on New York City, really a strong commitment to community and to the cultural and educational institutions in this great city of ours. He's been the longtime chairman of Studio Museum in Harlem, and he serves on the boards of other institutions like Whitney Museum, New York Public Library, American Museum of Natural History, and others besides that. Mentoring. Ray has been an incredible mentor to so many people, and he's helped me a lot. When I've talked to him about SEO and how we could make it better, he's been exceptionally generous with his time, and he's mentored many, many others throughout his career. I'm happy to say that Ray's relationship with SEO goes back well over 20 years. And I remember when I first talked to Ray, I said, "You ever heard of this SEO?" He said, "Heck, I heard about it long before you heard about it. And so let me tell you about it." And that was great. And so he was actually one of the original members of the Chairman's Advisory Council in 2001. And I've got to say, Ray, your guidance to SEO has really benefited all of us tremendously over the years. And since I think it's 2016, Ray, you've been a featured speaker at every one of our summer training programs for the career SEO students. And from what I hear from them, it's one of the highlights when they have you come and speak to them. So thank you, Ray, very much for doing that. And, you know, you're inspiring the career paths for so many interns. And if they can only follow halfway in your footsteps, they'll make themselves quite a journey. And so it's my pleasure, Ray, to welcome you as a recipient of this year's Michael W. Oshowitz SEO Founders Award, Ray Maguire.
Ooh, good evening. How are we doing tonight? All the time. Listen, I am honored to be here. Thank you, Henry. Your comments are moving and humbling. And I'm excited to be here. This must be one of the most talented, powerful rooms in the city. And only SEO could convene such a gathering. So to the SEO Scholars and to the inimitable Peter Chung, congratulations on all that you have accomplished and the examples that you set. To the extraordinary board, and as Henry and William have said, superb staff of SEO, thank you for your commitment to this organization. Julian, for your service, Michael, for your vision, and William, for your leadership. We are grateful. And thank each of you who have so generously contributed to this evening. Please accept my and our deepest gratitude. And I see so many friends in this room. I am holding back a little bit from a lot of the shout-outs, but I see you KKR. I see you, Dr. Selwyn Vickers. You all know Dr. Vickers, who runs Memorial Sloan Kettering? He's sitting right over there. He happens to be one of the most accomplished physicians on the planet, and running MSK is quite a distinction. Anyway, like I said, I could go on and do a whole bunch of shout-outs, but I'm going to hold back. I'm compelled to bring attention to at least a couple. Permit me, if you will, to my better three-quarters wife, the beautiful and brilliant Krista McCreary. I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you. And Henry mentioned, but let me amplify, to our dear friend Marie-Josée Kravis. Marie-Josée, you represent the height of supercomputing intellect, elegance, grace, and beauty. We're honored that you're here. We're honored with your support. Henry Kravis, history will record that for now and forevermore you are the GOAT on the Mount Rushmore of the world's finance and philanthropy. And since that's a term of endearment, Henry, with which you may not have some familiarity, it may be more of a millennial term, that GOAT is the greatest of all time. Your leadership, generosity, and vision are unmatched on the global corporate landscape. Your investment in SEO will continue to generate unprecedented, best-in-class returns. You are changing the lives of generations. And so when I think of SEO and why I'm honored to participate in this evening, I reflect on my own journey, and I reflect on at least two of the words that have been used this evening, opportunity and excellence. And as Glorilla would tell us, looking into this audience reminds me of a young man who some 40 years ago, product of the neighborhood, a single mother, wrong side of the tracks, a statistical aberration, got the opportunity to get a job on Wall Street fresh out of graduate school. And every step of the way, he encountered every imaginable obstacle. Ill-preparedness, embarrassment, classism, racism, and bosses that ignored him and didn't talk to him for 6 months. but he had no plan B, and he had to have a will to win and a still strong resolve to never give up. He had to have an approach of not just being better than, and he couldn't peak with graduation and 3 Harvard degrees and fluency in another language and having traveled the world. There were no role models in the client-facing, deal-making, capital-raising world of finance who looked like him and to whom he could reach out for advice. And he had to have what W.E.B. Du Bois calls that duality of consciousness. And he had to take copious notes and learn from the best of the best, like Joe Perella and Bruce Wasserstein and Joe Flom and Marty Lipton. And he stands before you today in a job where there are at most 10 professionals in the world who do what he does and only 1 black. And he got there on the shoulders of giants like Franklin Thomas, Vernon Jordan, Clarence B. Jones, Dick Parsons, and examples like Reginald Lewis and Ken Chenault and Garland Wood, who was the first black partner at Goldman Sachs. When he got the opportunity, he had to excel. He didn't have the option not to succeed. And as I reflect on SEO, it is the foundation that you provide, the training and the fundamentals, the coaching and presenting, the exposure to the possibilities that translates into your excellence. Is the excellence in your performance that would turn your job into a career. And to quote from that great 21st century philosopher on the wire, Omar Little, yo, there's a game out there. You either play or be played. Excellence is having a legitimate game when you're getting your performance review and they say you're great at this and great at that, and then comes the but clause. Excellence is when you have limited, if not altogether eliminated, the but clause, and what they say behind your back is that you're a top performer. And excellence is knowing that while we have achieved the pinnacle in the world of politics, there is yet much to be done in the world of business. The history is insufficient in its examples. The horizon has yet to be adequately populated. Now, in a world of technology, we're all persuaded by the data. And let the data convince you why SEO is as needed today, if not more so than it was when it started. You've heard some of the facts about the real world and education and the abject failure that our kids are experiencing. In New York City, the average age of the trigger puller is 14 to 17 years old. Public school students grade 3rd through 8th, 8 to 9 out of 10 are below grade level. Black home ownership, 4 out of 10 versus white home ownership, 7 out of 10. Median white family income, wealth, $184,000. Median black, $23,000. And what about in the corporate world? Notwithstanding the rhetoric, the number of diverse numbers of the boards of directors remains all too small. And since the Fortune 500 was started in 1955, there have been 1,800 CEOs, 20 black, 4 of whom were interim, 3 black women. In that world of asset management, $70 trillion managed in the United States, 1% black and brown managers. And among the major asset managers with circa $20 trillion under management within 10 miles of where we stand today, maybe 10 black partners. So I recognize that these times are unprecedented in our lives and our history. The racial, religious, gender, and wealth divide is defining our lives. But in the midst of times as difficult as these, my hope couldn't be higher because the evidence of success also resides in the data. That's the data of SEO's impact. as has been said, and let me say it again, many of the highest ranking and most respected and revered leaders in the corporate and asset management worlds are SEO alumni, many of whom are here this evening. Many sit on the board of SEO. So I take great comfort in knowing that on their shoulders the future of SEO will stand. We believe in you. We believe in SEO. There's no time which the need has been greater. So let me end where I began, and that's with hope and conviction. Because of SEO, the corporate world and the real world's best days are ahead of us. And so if you would join me in the words, if you know the lyrics of that great 20th century philosopher, Sir Biggie Smalls. And if you know them, fine. If you don't, it's okay. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this. 50-inch screen, money green leather sofa, got 2 rides, a limousine with a chauffeur. Phone bill's about 2 G's flat, no worries. My accountant's got that. And my whole crew is lounging, celebrating every day. No more public housing. Thinking back on my one-room shack, now my mom pimps the AC with minks on her back, and she loves to show me off, of course. Smiles every time my face is up in the source. And what we used to do, we used to fuss when the landlord dissed us. No heat. Wonder why Christmas missed us. And birthdays was the worst days. And now SEO, we shipping champagne like we're thirsty. Damn right I like the life of SEO, because I went from negative to positive, and it's all good. And if you don't know, now you know. Thank you.